Hey everybody, this is Perch, and we have news of the brand new Alien creative team. Marvel obtained the rights to Alien from Dark Horse, and the acquisition, everything that happened there. So Marvel will be publishing an Alien comic book, and it will be out in March. So we have a release date, March, for Alien comic book. So who are the creative team on it? It is Phillip Kennedy Johnson, who is a pretty kick-ass writer and artist Salvador Larroca, who is a pretty kick-ass tracer. And they are basically going to be creating this new world of Alien that basically is, from what we've heard, it's going to feature a brand new story with a mercenary called Gabriel Cruz as he battles a deadly new breed of xenomorph with the survival of his child hanging in the balance. So we've got a sci-fi, horror-ish story with a tougher than nails mercenary and a child to protect. Okay, checks out. What can you do? This is basically going to be coming in, like I said, in March. We have the Predator kind of right around the corner as well. That is supposed to kick off in the next month or two. We're supposed to hear an announcement in the next month or two, which means April, May, for that title. But it is it's Marvel venturing into horror. What we don't know, and we're trying to read between the lines here a little bit from what's going on, but we don't know if this is set firmly in the Marvel universe or not. I would be shocked if they didn't find a way to bring this into the Marvel universe at some point. But here it goes, and it is. Yeah, I mean, I'll put it to you this way. Phillip Kennedy Johnson. So that's somebody I'd want to talk about for a little bit in relation to this announcement. I think he's a great writer. I think he's done some absolutely incredible comics. I think dating back quite a long time ago. A lot of people know him for his current stuff, but I've really enjoyed his work. I liked Low Road West quite a lot. That was a little title that kind of, was in the background. I liked Last Sons of America. I think he's a very, very solid writer. You may know him today as the writer of The Last God over at DC, which is a pretty amazing kick-ass comic over there at DC. It's a really good book. And, Phillip Kennedy Johnson basically came over to Marvel to do Marvel Zombies, the new series that's running right now, and now Aliens. And what's interesting here is that he does have some titles, of course, coming out with Future State, but I have at least some concern that I'm curious what he's going to be doing in DC, following in March. There were a lot of people who were contemplating that he could be a new writer for one of DC's flagship books. And he is writing basically 2 Superman books. So he is writing the Worlds of War book, the Superman is a Gladiator in the future, and he's also writing Superman House of L. And based on all the announcements that have been coming out with Phillip Kennedy Johnson and not with Johnson, but with Future State, where the Future State writers are making their way in, a lot of people have started to suspect or / hope that Phillip Kennedy Johnson would be doing a Superman book. I think it's still possible. However, him doing this Alien series does put a wrinkle in that. As far as we know, it is an ongoing book. We haven't heard that it's a limited series, but it says ongoing. So this is a regular title over at Marvel. Will he be doing, and potentially more Marvel work? Will he be doing Alien and doing a high-profile Superman book at the same time? I mean, it's possible, but I tend to doubt it. I think DC would probably rather have a more exclusive writer on their book, but maybe not. I think his work, like I said, on Last God was pretty amazing, and I think this would be a big loss for DC if he's going to be doing more stuff for Marvel. But we will see. So this is one of those. The smart money is that Phillip Kennedy Johnson will be landing and doing something with Superman because all the writers on Future State for the books they've announced so far have been winding up there. But history would suggest if he's doing a new ongoing Marvel series and potentially more stuff beyond this, I mean, he has the Marvel Zombies book, he has this Alien book, it feels like he's getting more and more work at Marvel. So, you know, I don't know. It feels like he's going to be doing more Marvel work than DC books. So it's hard to tell. I guess we'll know when the Superman announcements hit. But I will say, you know, just as a fan, I think Phillip Kennedy Johnson doing an Alien book gives me some hope that you're going to get a pretty strong Alien book and not a watered down, weird, Marvel-y kind of nonsense book. I'm not as fond of Salvador Larroca being listed here on art. This one's tough. I've met Salvador Larroca. I like him. I think he's a nice artist. He gets stuff done on time. There's nothing. It's fine. But in recent years, the work has become rougher and rougher, and his book has kind of his art has kind of a plastic quality, if that makes any sense. I just don't. I would much rather them go for a darker, grittier artist on this title. I think there are some that exist. I think there's a lot of other talent that I would go tap. I think because it's something new and kind of outside the universe, this would be a perfect opportunity to get somebody new and unheard of. I think that would be a great idea. But at any rate, that's the news. New Alien ongoing series, Phillip Kennedy Johnson, Salvador Larroca, coming out from Marvel in March. As long as we're talking about artists returning, I did do a video and I commented on this in the midst of everything else, but there is a Marvel return for Rob Liefeld for the 30th anniversary of Deadpool, which will include a one shot and variant covers. So Rob Liefeld is apparently going to draw 30 variant covers for this one shot, all drawn by Liefeld. So 30 variant covers, 30 Rob Liefeld images, and from what we've seen in a couple of them, there are feet. So they're there. So at any rate, Liefeld's had a troubled recent history with Marvel, talking about suing people and talking about holding some feet to the fire for shady practice over at Marvel. He basically talked about wanting to go after Bob Iger, and he's since deleted that tweet and some of those legal comments, and he appears to be back on good terms with Marvel again. Who knows? We're supposed to get a lot of Liefeld covers throughout the year, and Deadpool is going to be a major part of Marvel in 2021 in terms of variant covers and showing up places. Because if you think about it, there really were not a lot of we didn't see a lot of Deadpool. Like, Marvel rarely uses Deadpool. If there's one character that's not exposed, it's Deadpool. So we'll see what all that has to do. But anyway, so a pair of interesting pieces of news: Alien news and Deadpool news. If you are, I'm curious, who's going to read the Alien books over at Marvel, and do you remember the old kind of classic Dark Horse books? Now, Marvel is reprinting this kind of omnibus of a bunch of the Dark Horse stories. And I thought a lot of them were really, really well done. So I'm looking forward to kind of dipping in and checking those out again and seeing what those are like. It is, yeah. I'm on one hand, I'm excited to see more Alien Predator comics coming out. On the other hand, this is really a case where I wish they weren't coming out from Marvel. However, Phillip Kennedy Johnson has not led me astray yet. So we'll see if this is any different. So what about you? Have you read The Last God? Are you familiar with Phillip Kennedy Johnson? Are you disappointed that he's not going to be, or maybe he is, maybe he is, maybe he isn't? Do you think he's going to be doing more at DC or not? Where would you like him to wind up? A lot of people have a lot of speculation opinions of where they'd like Johnson to wind up. But are you going to be buying this comic? Are you in? Do you want to see it cross over with Marvel or not? Do you want to see, Captain Marvel fight aliens? Is that something you're into or no? And how do you feel about Rob Liefeld returning to do some Deadpool work? Would that draw you into buying Deadpool? Where do you want to see these people in general? Is Rob Liefeld the iconic Deadpool creator, artist? He was the guy who created it, but is he the artist you want to see? Anyway, let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe. Hey, if you did subscribe once upon a time, you might want to check to just make sure you still are. YouTube randomly just decides to take care of that for you. It's one of the friendly services they do. Don't know why, but there you have it. Anyway, thanks for listening.